Okay, welcome to our weekly broadcast. We missed last week, but today we're going to be talking about a IBL trade. An IBL, just for y'all to know, it is the market's range between the first hour of trading, so the high and low of the market during that time. And I think I was pretty busy at the time, but Steve, I think you were doing an IBL trade and something else, right? A different trade?
Well, I did an IBL trade and an option trade to go along with it, so they could have their choices.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Steve, and Steve, you have the floor here.
Hello, hope everybody's doing okay. What an amazing day we've had so far in the market. I'm going to go over a couple of things. I want you to show, this is what we woke up, well, pretty much woke up to. I guess probably a little bit more something like this. But for quite some time now, we've been calling to or referring to this high will be taken out, and we have reasons for that. But I want to share with you before we leave. I'm going to go over the IBL trade first. Before we leave, though, I want to share with you a very interesting trade we had here and what patterns we're working with. But let's go to the IBL trade, and we'll get that one first. So I can just move this over. Okay, so let's get into here. You can do this on a 5 minute, a 1 minute. I like doing it on a 1 minute, so I'm going to do this on a 1 minute chart on it. And the IBL trade it's not a slam dunk, but it's a very, very mechanical trade. And it's one that if you follow along, you have very, very defined risk and potential of very nice gains depending on what you're doing. All right, so let's see. Let's get to where we're open. And we open, mine is I believe this is 8:30. Hang on a second. I've got so many different time periods with everything. Okay, 8:30 should have been, yeah, right here, I believe, or was it? Yep, okay. So we got 8:30 trade. All we're going to do is take and mark off the first hour of the market. That's all we're going to do. So my market opens, my time is at 8:30, which is this bar right here. So the low of that, let's see, what is that one is 38.75. Okay, let me make sure I've got that right. Okay, all you're going to do is mark off the first hour. That's it. And this should be the first, okay. And then this is the next one. Should be 47. Okay, so this sets up what we got. You can do whatever you want to the first hour. You don't have to do a thing the first hour. You're just looking for the distance between the high and the low. Okay, so here's our movement from 8:30 to 9:30. That's our initial balance period. If you look at this, it should be very plain to see what the market's doing. It's going up. You can do a couple of different things. What I like to do is one I don't really show very much, but I like to take and put a line kind of sort of in the middle of that. You don't have to be very specific, but just kind of sort of get close to the middle. We had a support here. We went up. We came down. It looked like we could be making an ABCD pattern down into here, which would have been fine. But once we're here and we realize it's going back up, I'll show you why it's there. It's not just simply vision with it. If we have an ABCD down, AB equals CD down, notice what happened here. As soon as it hit the 786 and bounced and went back above this level here, it was a pretty good shot. It's going high. This is a pivot right here. The reason being, when we have a pattern that does not get past the 786 on an ABCD down pattern, that's very, very bullish. And today was very bullish. From pre-market, we had a very good idea. We're going way up today. And I don't think we're finished yet. I'm sure we've got quite a bit more to go up. I'm actually looking for the overall high to be taken out possibly today. That's a possibly. I won't let me say for sure, but just kidding. We got it. So anyway, so I'm going to remove this. And at this time, I'm telling everybody I'm going to do a preemptive one. So I actually tried to get this at 47 when it went up here, and I put a real tight stop, and it took me out on the first one, which is okay. It doesn't matter. You can wait till you get here, but the reason I like to do this is hitting that 786, it's up in the upper part of it. it's a really good shot that you're going to take it out. And we can do this two different ways. What I like you to do is, one, if you get comfortable with reading the chart, you can do it before you get up to the IBL. After that, you want to let it go ahead and hit it. We're going to say, okay, forget all the other stuff. What if I don't know what I'm doing? We're going to wait till this gets up here and hits this IBL level of 47. Let it go up. 9 times out of 10, it's going to come back and retest the market. So you wait till it comes back down below, and now when it's below that, you're going to put your buy stop in at 47 even. And then when it goes back up, you're in. Now this went to 48.50, so you had 1.5 handles, but this is not uncommon to have it come down again. But you have to know where your stop is. If you look at this pivot, we're starting to look at pivots now. They give you some idea. This is going to be a target. When it comes back down, that's going to be a very likely target. We have a very solid bottom right here. This 42.50, I believe it is a very solid bottom because it went off the 786. I'm not going to put a stop down that far, but I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, okay, what am I willing to risk on this? I'm willing to risk 2 to 3 handles. So if I put just 2 handles in at the 47, my stop is going to be 45, which is right there. All right, that's my stop. Yes, sir.
Hey, Steve, quick question.
Yes.
I know you talk a lot about pivots, and you mentioned that you allow the market to go down through them and then up through them, basically to put on the trade. In this case, it did it did breach that pivot, right? Would the stop been adequate to put on, not at the IBL, but right at that pivot point?
No, because that's going to be a very likely target to bounce off of. It tends to hit those. And if it only goes through like a tick or two and turns around, you're good. Just kind of like this with a 786. So what I would suggest, what I do personally, is I try really hard to have no more than a 2-handle stop, 2 points. So we've got 47 here. This is 45. This is where my stop was. I put in a stop at 45. That's where my stop would have been.
Okay.
So, and now I got in at 40. What was it? What did I get in at? 40, I don't know what it was. 40, let's see, 40. I got in at 45. Okay. So by this time, my stop is break even, but I'm also, if I took the trade, my stop would have been here at 45. Once it breaks above, comes down, and breaks above, you got a 1.5 here, which you can take it, you can do whatever you want, but you have to let it run a little bit if you want to make some more than that. That's all there amounts to. So it came down, touched this pivot. That is a pretty strong support. And I don't really expect to go below there, but you still want to give it a 2 handle. It's hard to not give at least 2 handles to do that. Sometimes I'll do it for 1 handle when I'm at a breakout place.
Okay.
Does that help answer the question?
Well, I wasn't talking about a stop, actually. I was talking about, instead of at the IBL, putting your buy stop, putting the buy stop at the IBL, put the buy stop where the pivot is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. That is, yeah. This is it's really quick. All right, you got to realize this is 40. What is this? This is 46.25. This is probably gonna be 46. 45.75. Okay, no, 40. Where's the low? 46. Yeah, you got 1 tick. If you're gonna put it there and say, okay, I'm putting it there, I'm gonna risk 1 handle or 2 handles. That's perfect because you got a really good shot of this going back up. You broke it. You broke above. Yeah, it's going to come down a little bit, but you got tremendous support all through here.
And the probability of it hitting that pivot is pretty high, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it is.
So it's basically you're putting in that buy stop right at the very bottom of that move, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But and you're absolutely correct, and it is a very appropriate thing to do, but that's a little more advanced.
Okay.
I want to, and everybody, please follow. I'm not trying to hide anything, but I want you to look at the very mechanical part of this, but then we're going to go into a couple more things as well. So the mechanical part is wait till it goes through the 47 or the IBL high, let it come back down below it somewhere, and you put your buy stop here, and then put a stop in. Stop at 2 handles below at 45. No pain at all. You got a 1 handle against you. On a MES, that's nothing. All right. So what have we got here? Look at what we can project to. ABCD patterns are very, very important to learn about. All right. So we've got this here. We expect it to get to the 786. And we expect the 786 to be a stall area. It hit right up here at the 786, went down here. As we go back up, this would be a beautiful place here to put a pivot in, a buy stop in, a buy stop in here, or a buy stop in here. All these pivot areas to go back up. Now we've hit this, we've come back down again. This could move a little ABCD down. If it is, it's going to be a small one. I'd be looking at this. If I was long, I'd be looking at this. And this would be where I don't want it to go any lower than this, or this one right here, I'd have a stop right below that because we're moving up. And this is going to break up. Okay, you already see it bounced off of that 786 again. So when you have things bouncing off of a 786 on an ABCD pattern, you got some bullish days or bearish, depending on which way you're going. It's been a wonderful day for trading. Now, any questions on IBL? That's pretty mechanical and pretty straightforward. Any questions on that? I can't see anybody. So Al, do you see anything?
No questions. I don't see any.
Okay, let me show you something here that may help you risk and reward in this very instance. All right, this was just a really good day to trade, and I'm thoroughly expecting it to get up here, at least in the 54 area is what I'm looking for today. Doesn't mean it's going to, but if it gets there and it's not too late in the day, we got a shot at taking out the overall high. Let me write something here real quick so you can see it. If you can risk 1 for 3. Okay. If anybody's looking at this, do you have any idea how many times you can be wrong or right out of 10 and still be profitable? Any guessers? Okay, we'll just write some more. I'm not sure how many there, so we're going to take this there. So I'm going to risk 1 for 3. So that means my risk here of 2 handles. So I'm going to risk 2 handles. Oh, then risk 2. And so that means I need 6 handles. Okay. If I risk 2, I need 6. So I risk 2 handles here by the 45, and I've got 47. I've gone up here to 51. I'm not quite out yet, am I? I need 2 more handles, 47, 53. I need 2 more handles up above this to get my 2 for 6. Now, I can certainly put my stop here. I don't want to give all that back. So if I put it here, I'm at 47, right below 47. And I was right here is 48, I'm sorry. So I can lock in 1 handle fairly safely here. I would do that. That's no problem.
Hey, Steve, I got a question. We got a question here
Sure.
from Rich. Does IBL of previous days play a role on following days?
You bet it does. I watched those, and today when we moved up, it pulled out early at the IBL high from yesterday that did not fill. And I made that point early this morning and was looking at that really hard. And I was trading off of that as well. I took a SPY option yesterday, not too far away from the end of day, because we had not taken out the IBL, and the percentage rate of it doing that is very, very high. And we're getting ready to take out the market high again here, it looks like it, on the SPY at 1529, and we should be awful close here. So we might see this fulfill before that. Does that answer the question? Are we there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hoping it is.
Okay. All right.
Judy has a question. She's
Sure.
asking what are handles?
It's a point. I don't know why they do that, but in the ES, they always call it a handle. It's 4 ticks is 1 point. All right, look at this. We're taking out now our C leg. So when you have an A, B, C, D down, and the 786 holds, when it breaks this C leg, which this is A, B, C, that is also very bullish. It's struggling right now because we're taking out 1 more high again, Every time you get up to the high, each time you get there, you got less and less percentage chance that you're going through it. I took a long here myself just a little bit ago, right before we started talking, waiting for it to take off. I'm looking for the SPY to get from 315.25 to at least about 315.50 to 60 in that area. And then we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go back to our risk. We get in at 47. We go up here, we come down, we go up here. My stop right now until I break out this high is right here, right below this at 46. I'm sorry, 48. So I've got locked in a handle, or if you got two, whatever it is. Let's look at this risk. If I have 1 for 3, let's say that I make 50% trades. That means for every 10 trades, I get 5 I have winners, 5 I have losers. All right. So this trade we have today, if we have 5 that are winners, we get, let's do this again. We have 6 times 5 is 30 handles. All right, and we lose 5. We lose 5 times 2 is 10. All right, so that's what you can do. Can you, every 10 trades you make, if you're making 20 handles, would you be content with that? If you did that over and over, and this is with just one option or one futures. If you get to where you trade multiples, this really makes a difference. But let's say that we're not really good at this and we only get 3 out of 10. All right, so let's look what this is. We get 3 out of 10, which makes 3 times 6 is 18 handles. Okay, and we have 7 times 2, which is 14 handles. So with this, look, we're breaking out. We're ready to break right here. We're getting ready to break. Okay, so for this, even if we only get 3 out of 10, we've still made profit. How's that for a risk reward? So if we take, I hope everybody's following me because this is really, really important stuff here. Risk reward, your management, we can do all kinds of stuff, but if you don't have a good proper management on your risk and reward, you're never going to make money to amount to anything. There's got to be a reason why you have that. So if you get to be just a 50% trader, which is still pretty good, you're going to make some very good money with a trade like this, and you're going to lose some. That's okay, but you're going to control your loss. Have I lost or confused anybody? If you're there and you're confused, please say so.
One quick question.
Sure.
Is this a future or micro? And I'll let you answer that one.
They're both futures, but this is a micro, or you can do the full E-mini on NASDAQ, where this doesn't, you can do this with stock. It doesn't matter what you trade this with. If you do this risk reward with anything you trade, you're going to come out risk management. Management is how you make money in this thing. Oh, we're doing great here. Okay, did we make our, where'd that one go to? That went to 51.25, 47. No, we still need 3 more ticks to get our 6 handles here. I think we're going to do it because this is the real serious target right here. And if you get that and you get above it, put your stop close to that and let it run some more. Or if you do multiples, it doesn't matter. Okay, that is very simply put the IBL trade for today. This was a picture perfect day, but you get a lot of these on a regular basis. Sometimes you'll get it where it'll hit here. I almost never buy the first time it hits. It depends, but I almost never do because it'll hit it and bounce back. This one went straight through because we got a lot of momentum going today. But let's look at what we can do next. Let me move this up. On the IBL trade, we're obviously not concerned too much about going down here and taking out this low. And we've made what I believe to be a significant low just a few days ago. So this helps a lot. But once you get this happening and it's up in this range and you break this level and you get up into here, you can sell things below here. You still have to manage them. But you can sell an option down here. You can sell a spread down here. This allows you to do both ways. And once you see this get up into here and come back down, this is only, I don't even think it's a 618. So it might be a 5.0. Right, from the IBL low to this high, we came down almost to 618. Not quite. See if we hit the 5-0. You can't ask for much better than that. It hit it, came down below, came up above, hit it, held right there. Look at all that support right there. When it goes back above, once it gets above this pivot right here, which is, let's see, that pivot is 44. You could put a buy-in right there for 44. Not an issue at all. I went ahead and waited for 45 just because I wanted to confirm mine. But I got in at 45 and ran it up here and sold it. So that's your IBL. You can do a lot of other things with this. If you learn this trade, and we're trying to make it where it gives you a lot of different things going on. If you learn this trade, you have a very nice chance of having this type of a risk-reward situation that you can work with. And just remember, as long as I get 50%, I'm going to be making a lot of money. If I only get 3 out of 10 or 30%, I will still make a little money. And that is nice if you do it over time.
So we're, just to let everybody know, we're working on the channel to get the P&L in there, and you know, the buys and sells, so it's coordinated. Okay. And then I know that you trade futures, Steve, and options.
Yes.
Micro futures are really great for retail traders. It's a very low risk because the amounts and a lot of, honestly, I put them out there, you know, just when I want to catch a trend, and I'll just let it ride, knowing that the market is, you know, trending higher. I usually go long on these.
Yes.
But I just put them on, let the market go down through it. I'll add another one to it, and just eventually the market comes back up, and I make a profit. You know what you're doing is a lot more precision and a lot more day trade. And the good thing about the micros too is that they're not under PDT restrictions.
That's true.
And you know, most of us can get access to the micros, you know, if you talk to your broker about it, you know. And there are other brokerage firms that you can just apply for and get micros, and it's a lot cheaper than, like, you know, Toss or the main brokers out there. There's brokers dedicated to micro futures. And again, they're really made for retail traders. They're very small, don't need a lot of margin to trade them. And, you know, starting out with just one and doing this but practice, you can make a lot of mistakes, you know, and learning before you actually get really good in it. And you got an expert, you know, here with Steve that's done this stuff for years. And we're going to be doing more of these trades, you know, more often as well. So,
and I'm separating, because I've got a couple of accounts I trade in. I'm separating my other futures trades, and I'm just going to focus on the IBL. And well, this morning I couldn't pass that one up. I'm going to share that one in a minute. But
okay,
we're just going to try and make sure we have everything just for the IBL. And the nice thing about the IBL trading, let me remove some of these lines. The nice thing about the IBL trading is it's a very low risk, and it's very mechanical. And if you will take every trade that's there and you do it correctly, you should be very, very close to 50% of trades. I believe more than that, but we're going to be very conservative. And I just showed you how you can make 50% trades, and you can make it very profitable. I hope that helps and makes sense. Now let's look at another type of trade that we do on a regular basis. And I'm going to share these with you. It's a trade when you have, and this is where these things go for swing trading. When you have a move like what we had here, and everybody thought the world was ending, when you come down into this, come into here, and you go there, everybody thought, oh no, we're going down to oblivion. We have been in an up market all year long. December 26th last year, it hit a bottom, and it's done nothing but go up. We have not broken any major supports this entire year. I'm not going to go through that now, but I've shared that many times. And we are in a position where we're getting ready to take out our high here again. Look how close we are. But we went down through here. When we did this, and I went over this with Al the other day, when we have a pattern like this, an A, B, C, D down into a major reversal area, we let it bounce up. We let it come back down and retest. Many times it'll come right down in here, this 786, 886. That's great. Once it comes and breaks this pivot, that is you're off to the races, and you can do a long in that, and you can go ahead and you can just let it be a swing trade. All right, how do you do that?
Yeah, I just want to make one comment. We let it retest because sometimes it doesn't just retest; it actually continues going down. So it's the process of understanding where the bottom is, so you don't get burned. And
Absolutely.
Being patient on this is very, very important. So that you don't get and it's happened to me with a zero DTE trade. I think it's a bottom, and bam, it keeps going down. It keeps going down. I take a loss. But there's once you start looking at this, you're able to distinguish where that bottom is. The more you look at it and the more you spend time with this, you'll see how the chart acts, and the market acts, so that you can start picking bottoms, better and better. At first it's a little hard, but you'll see the same pattern happening all over again on these that make these bottoms.
And thank you. That's a very good point. When we actually buy these bottoms here, much higher risk, but your stop is so close, it's actually a very low risk trade. The higher it gets up, the more risky you get. But let's look at this for just a moment. If we were to get this move, which we did, and down here, and we traded off of it, and I know Al traded off of that, you can get into here, and as it gets up into this level, takes out these pivots. This would be the pivot I'd be looking at. Once it gets above that pivot, I know we've got a high percentage chance of taking this out. So if I get weight as it goes down here, and I put my buy in at 88.52, I actually was in at 88 there, 88 in that area, I've got a stop down here of 69, or we'll say 70. That's 18 handles. That's only $90 with the micros. But what is your risk that you got here? 88 if you were to carry it through here and just keep following up your lower lows, lower highs, where would you be at now? My goodness, you'd be in a great position. It's what is it? 88, 50, 60, 70, almost 70 handles. That's $350. I caught this move down here the other day at 52. I did not do it in this one. I did it in one of my other accounts. But I shorted at 52. I didn't want to say much because everybody is it's all going to go up and things. But I caught a big chunk of this down, and two of those was $347, I think it was, or something that I got out of it. It doesn't take very long. If you control your risk, you keep your stops tight, and you let it run. You don't need very many of those to make some really good money. And then somewhere down the road, you buy 2 of them. Somewhere down the road, you buy 3 or 4. If you get to the point where you're going to do 10, then you're going to go to the regular E-mini, which is a lot more difficult to trade, not because it changes anything. It's the psychology of how much money is sitting on the table. That's the part that's hard. So that's why these are so nice. But let me show you why I expect this to go up.
Hey, quick question, Steve. Rich is asking if you trade oil, CL.
No, I don't, but I do watch it a lot of times. I trade it every once in a blue moon.
You trade gold too, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't trade it all the time. I mostly swing trade gold, and on oil I do the USO sometimes because it's just so much less risk. But it's still all patterns. All right, let's look at this for a moment. I want to share with you something. Sometimes we have a day like we did today that was really, really interesting, and why we can pick on things. So I'm going to share with you how we look at patterns. All right, I'm not going to look at this big pattern here. You can do it there. I'm looking at this pattern from here to here to here to here. Now, before I go any further, it's obviously going up. What does this look like? What letter of the alphabet does that look like? If you said W, you did exactly what it should look like. Everything we do is trading off of some form of a W or some form of an M. If you go back and look at patterns and pivots and things, you're going to see that's pretty much what you got. Now, I expect this to go up to 2 different levels. All right, from this level, I want the 162 or the 190. All right, 162 takes me right to the high of where we're at here, within just a handle or 2. I expect this to be taken out completely. I don't know if it'll do it today, but it should take it out. And it may not, but it's got a very high percentage. This pattern I'm showing you has occurred 6 times this year. 5 of them have all went to new highs after they formed. So somewhere in this vicinity, up in here, is where my target is on this move up. And I've been calling that since this bottom hit, and particularly when this broke out. And I've been saying maybe, because you never know for sure, and things can change. But this is the type of stuff we do. So when we have this, I tend to trade options and things with stuff like this. It just seems easier. Or I'll keep a MES in another account a little bit longer. It's a different account. But if you do this with options or whatever, you're going to have some pretty good moves. But if you get it right spot, you'll just keep moving up, moving up, moving up. And the micros are just great for doing this stuff. And what you can do with it, once you get this out and you get in, you let it go wherever it's going. Then you let it retrace back somewhere, and on a pivot back up, you buy another one. What if you'd have bought one down in this? Well, here's where the buy would have been, right there. What if you do this again? This was the buy. Let's see where we at today. The 24 was the buy. Okay, the break of this bar right here was where you could put another buy today. And I was doing a video on this morning so everybody could see it, because I want everybody to get into this, sharing all that. And then I was going to put my buy stop in, and I missed it. But Al actually caught that. He was the smart one today. He said, "Let me trade first, and then we'll talk later." So, anyway, but here, if you look at this, the reason we're here, this pivot, this is what I trade off of and what I look for. That pivot has come up, and it came up here to retest it, fell down, came up, got close, came up, challenge, went down, came up, hit it again, went down, came up, hit it again, went below it. But we're sitting here with this, and now we've got 2 different things we've got. This was what I posted out this morning. This was the range to put it in. These ranges here, and above this was the buy. Okay, if we missed it, which almost everybody did because I didn't get it in time, and as soon as I put the video up, I'm over here and it's already taken off. This is a fabulous trade to look at. Let me show you on this one, because I want to share this with you. This don't happen every day, but this is why we're doing what we're doing today. Sorry, it takes a minute for this to catch. Okay, so where are we going with this? Let's first show that what my projections are and why. From this low to this high, to this low, it's already hit this 127. I'm looking for it to take this out here. So if we can get above this 127, which is a 51, and that's why it's struggling right now, we've hit an area that tends to turn. It may get in this area, but we got a good shot. Let's see, what is it? 136. We got 2.5 hours. We've got a shot of this getting a pretty hard rally and taken out. Now, I'm not going to leave anything long over weekend because it could easily roll back down. But this is a very interesting. This high could soon become the place where we short at. So how do we decide what do we do with this trade? All right, that's a projection. We have another projection on it. Let me remove this. When we had this morning going on, this over here to where you can see where we're at. I had just put a video up, and if you're in the room, go back and watch the videos, please. They have a tremendous amount of educational material on it. Okay, I'm waiting for this bar here, not this one here. But I'm sorry, this is our, back here, yes, this is our, anyway, it should be right there. That's our bar we want to go across. Let me put it here. When it takes out this high, we're going long. All right, so this is what happened. I missed it. I was certainly going to put my order in, but I missed it. I'm waiting for a second chance, and I started telling everybody, hang on, we're going to get another chance. This is a acceleration bar, a trigger bar, whatever you call it. This is a big bar from basically 20 to 34. 14 handle bar in 5 minutes is a very nice bar. This one here tells us where our stop is below this, and this is our trigger. So our trigger now is 34.75. I didn't do that right. Yeah, I did. Okay. So let's go forward. Everybody, there's several people had a chance to get in here because we all called it. Look what happened the next bar. It broke that buy stop, and it went almost to 40, which was my target to start today. 39.50, I think it went to, or something like that. Okay, 30, where's that? 30, no, that's not it. It's my high there. Okay, 39. All right, but look at this. At this point, here's the projections that I put up. And if it had been after hours, I wouldn't have even dreamt of putting a stop close to it, or after the market was open. A lot of times you get the market to come down. Here's the stop of this bar, which is a retest right here. Oh, didn't stop there. All right, so I've moved up. This is our break point. The stop is below this, which is 31. Let's look at what the projection is on this ABCD up. Almost identical to what we just had. And here's where we expect to go to. I'm looking for this higher above, so I don't know if it's going to do it today, but we're so close taking out that top, it's hard to imagine it not being taken out. But this is a trade that when we see it, and this doesn't happen a lot, this is a continuation trade, that is showing you that this thing is made to go higher for today. Now we're a little spot here. What do we got going on? We've got a move up. Here's what usually happens with these things. We have a move up, a little sideways pattern, and it tends to continue. We have a move up with a sideways pattern. We've already broken this out and staying here. As long as this doesn't get too far down here, we're probably going back up. How do we trade these? Right, let me go to a 1 minute, because I shared this today also with several people, that in case we got into a situation, because it appears to be a red day up, which I'm not going to go into lots of explanation of. That just means it just keeps going up and up and up with small pullbacks. All right. Now this could change in a little bit, but we've had it all day. How do we trade this? Because there's such small pullbacks. When you see these patterns like this, you're just going to take a trend line. And I called this one out very specifically. Was this the one at 30? Yeah, it goes up to 39. No, wait, this was it. I'm sorry. This was the one here. I said our trigger is at 38, and it should go to 40, 40, 75, 41. Anyway, whatever it was. But you do this, you break it, and you go above it. You do this, you break it, and you go above it. Look at all these trades we have here, breaking the pivot back again. You can do this all day long. You cannot let them run for, put a big stop below it, because they can turn on you. Here's one we thought we might be turning around. This was to get to IBL level. There's our strong support. When it hit that, I was convinced we're going above it. So I got my order at 45 and ran it up here. And then I got out. We're up again. Now we're sideways. Where are we going? What has the whole day been doing? It's been doing nothing but going up. There's no reason at this point to think we're going to take a nosedive. If we don't go anywhere, I would not be shorting this today any place. That's not what I do. But here's what we're looking at. We've got can I get it big enough? No, it's too big. It's too much. Anyway, we've got this here. We've got our 57 or 58, whatever it is. That's what if we can hold somewhere probably this level, I'm expecting it to get awful close to this. So you do what you want to do. Don't take, this is a much higher risk trade than this was over here. These were very low risk trades. The higher you get, the more risk you got. But on a day like today, they're not gonna let this come back down. They've been busting stops, and they're doing this, and on Monday they may sell this. And here's what we look for. I'm going to share one more thing with you, and this is what we look for. Okay, here's our pattern. If this pattern fulfills, and then it comes back down below this line, okay, we got a line right here. We'll say that's our line. If this fulfills here, goes somewhere like this, which is very, very possible, does this number, retest this and doesn't take it out, when it goes back down below this level, that's going to be a short, a very high probability short. High risk also, but you've got a very small stop. What do most people do? They want to see this thing get way down into here and say, okay, now we've broken everything. And they might look for a little retrace, get something like this, and then they'll short it. Look how much they got. You got to get something above this, protect yourself. It can go right back up there. This is a higher risk trade. This one's a high risk trade, but it's a small stop. I'll take those all the time. Anyway, that's something to watch for if we get above this over here and we turn back down for something. All right, any questions? Is that enough, or you want me to talk more?
I think we're good.
All right, sir.
Thanks everyone for joining, and we will try to be here next week again. And we're going to put this on replay. I'm going to do a little editing and then put it on YouTube as well. All right, guys. Thanks, and have a great weekend. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it again. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.